started thinking of the pickup, placing it like if you should sing into a microphone, like you put the microphone in front of your mouth and sing. He thought that if he could put something close to the string, it would bring the best sound from the string.
People always ask me to do more episodes about gear, and that's what we're doing today on the podcast. I'm Jason Heath. This is Contrabass Conversations, and we are chatting today with the person behind Wilson Pickups. That's Ole Wilson. And he took over the business from his father, who started, his father was a bass player, and he started to make these pickups in the 80s. I think this is the 34th year that Wilson pickups have been in existence. And the list of people that have used Wilson pickups, it's a who's who in the bass world. Gary Peacock, Eddie Gomez, John Patitucci, the list goes on and on. So we dig into how this pickup works, how it's installed, how you can get it installed, dimensions, down to the 10th of a millimeter. And that's the sort of thing that I know that a lot of people out there really dig, just listening to chats like this or chatting with Thorkild from Remike or these other gear episodes. So I'll be sure to continue to do these gear episodes from time to time. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, Upton Bass and D'Addario Strings. We'll be hearing more from them later. Let's dig into this conversation with Ole Wilson. So your father started Wilson Pickups.
Yes, he did. It's because he is still alive. He is an old man. He's 81 years old. And all his life he has been playing the double bass. And back in time, he was also an engineer. So those two things together made him create this invention of the pickups, because he really needed the pickup, the great pickup sound himself. Back in the 60s, 70s, there were nothing at that time. So he started trying to do something in the early 80s.
Oh, that's when the pickups started, was or came on the market? Was that in the early 80s?
Yeah, he started in 83, and I think it took 1 year to develop the final thing, and it was tested by bass players that live in Denmark, and at that time, I think there were only the Underwood pickup. I think it's the first Piezo pickup at that time. So when the bass players heard the sound of our pickup, they could hear something really different from what they were used to. So today it's 34 years since he started his developments.
So because I use pickups from time to time. I'm mostly a classical player, so the whole progression is kind of new to me. But so Underwood existed, and then Wilson was like the next pickup on the market, kind of.
I think so. I heard that the Underwood started a few years before, and then after our pickup in the middle of the 80s, it really started up a lot of other Piezo pickups. I don't know who was following, but today I think there are more than 50 different pickups brands.
Yeah, it's remarkable to see how it's evolved. Yeah. In fact, there's this YouTube video, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's of somebody has basically every conceivable pickup on their bass, and they're going between them for the... So probably a lot of people listening know what Piezo pickups are, but can you just describe how that that technology works, how piezo pickups work?
Yeah, actually the piezo pickup is based on the piezo crystal. It's a ceramic crystal made from nature products like ceramic things. And when the piezo plate is is under pressure and the vibrations from the strings go through the material, it will, because of the pressure through on the metal, the material, it will create a little voltage, and it will be, you will be able to take this out and amplify it. So we talk about very few. It's about 200 millivolt voltage. So it's very little electricity actually. So the funny thing is that if you can capture the vibrations on the right spot on the instrument, it will actually produce the acoustic sound that you want to have amplified. And that's the big secret about every pickup. It is how is it produced and where to mount it to produce the best sound.
And the Wilson pickups, can you describe how they're mounted? I've played on basses that have them installed, so I've seen it, but maybe if someone's not familiar, how is that installed on a bass bridge? My father, he started thinking of the pickup, placing it like if you should sing into a microphone, like you put the microphone in front of your mouth and sing. He thought that if he could put something close to the string, it would bring the best sound from the string. So all his first test was based on the position close to the strings. So he put the pickup 9 millimeters below the strings, one pickup under each string, and then the vibrations from each string will be captured in the piezo unit and be amplified. And because we have 4 pickup units on a 4-string bass, you will be able to balance the difference between the strings. So if you when you know your bass, your double bass, and you know sometimes one string is a little louder or a little lower than the others, you can fine-tune and balance the output from each string with each pickup unit. So this is why he put them one unit under each string.
Hi, my name is Andres Martin. I'm an Argentinian composer and double bass player living in Tijuana, Mexico. I play in a professional orchestra, also teaching and performing as a soloist in festivals around the world. After trying almost every string set in the market for the last 20 years, I found Kaplan string to be the only ones that can allow me to use all the different colors and techniques I've been working at during my entire career. I use both solo and orchestral sets, and I love the tone, tension, thickness, and the wide range of dynamics and harmonic resonance and timbre I can get with them. For me, they have the perfect balance between thickness and flexibility, making them a true pleasure under my fingers and bow. I'm happy that finally I have a set that makes me happy when I have to play in any situation.
Interesting. And so then those 4 units, do they then feed into some sort of preamp, or how are they balanced then? Can you talk through the signal chain? We've got the pickups, and then where does the signal go from there?
Actually, they are just connected serial to one extension jack. So if you think each pickup unit creates the sound, it is just connected out in one jack. But we have tested if we could isolate each pickup and do something like in a preamp where you can split the sound from each string, but it doesn't change much when you split it out, because one pickup takes a little bit sound from the other 3 strings as well, so it will never be split totally. So the major or the main advantage of the pickup system with 4 units is that you have the volume adjusting of each string, which can be quite good for the bass with the need for adjusting.
So I can turn up the volume on my E string, for example, or I can turn down the volume on my D string if the bass is a little bit, if that helps.
I know not many bass players do change the volume very often, or when the pickup is installed, they don't do a lot of adjustment. But I know also that mainly the very professionals, when they play in concerts and they play with a bow or something, they want to turn up the G and the D string, for example. They can do it, but normally they just install the pickup and play, and they play. Many of the bass players, they still use the pickup that they bought back in the 80s. So it's still working for many of the bass players.
And in terms of getting it installed, does a bass player send their bridge to Wilson and then have it installed? Or how does that work in terms of getting the pickup installed? Does a local luthier do it? Or how does that work?
In the beginning, my father, he invented this pickup and included a drill bit and a special reamer tool to make the holes very precise in measurements. And it's very important that the measurement is correct, because the hole is actually a little bit smaller than the pickup. So in order to get the best sound and the high volume output, the hole must be drilled with this special tools. We also we always enclose this special tools with each pickup set. If a bass player purchase a pickup from us, we always send this set with special tools and an instruction for installation. But we always recommend to visit a skilled luthier or violin maker to do the work, because they need to remove the bridge and drill the holes with a bench drilling machine, so the holes will be exactly precise in measurement.
And that measurement again is 9 millimeters for each string. 9 millimeters.
Yeah, below the string, and the hole for the pickup must be 4.99 millimeters. Means a little bit less than 5 millimeters in diameter. And the pickup unit is actually a little bit more than 5 millimeters. So when we install the pickup into the hole, it sits a little bit tight in the hole. So there is a lot of pressure from the surrounding wood, from the bridge. And this is the reason for the very loud output from the pickup. So you don't need the preamp and you don't need anything. You can just plug the pickup into the hole, plug the cable, instrument cable to the amplifier and start playing.
This episode is brought to you by Upton Bass. And have you checked out this new travel bass from Upton? Oh my goodness, what a cool looking design. What a great sounding bass. It's just totally remarkable. And the way that they're launching this product, it's just so perfectly Upton. It's bold, it's innovative. You got to check out these videos of Gary Upton unfolding, I don't even know how you describe it, putting together, I guess, this travel bass. It takes almost no time. It is in a Samsonite piece of luggage. I kid you not. It is just a suitcase. It is literally a suitcase bass, but it comes together and it's a real bass. It's a nice sounding bass. It's so cool. Just another example of the way in which Upton is innovating and blazing new trails for the bass community. So thank you for what you do, Upton, and thank you so much for sponsoring the podcast. And Wilson pickups are also available for cello, for the other stringed instruments, right?
Yes. We found out after many years, my father, he only think about the bass because he played the bass himself. And at a time, musicians asked, but what about the violin? What about cello? What about the guitar? And then a lot of other acoustic string instruments. We have the 21-stringed Karr from Africa. We have a lot of other string instruments like the lute, the different oriented string instruments. And if it's possible to place the pickup unit under the strings in the bridge somewhere, it will provide a quite original acoustic sound that the instrument produce. So many musicians they are quite happy about the sound they get from the amplified instrument. And that's what we still want to keep on going, because the aim for me today is not to just make a lot of pickups and a lot of money. No, it's really to keep the same quality, the same standard that everybody knows from back in time, and they will always get this high quality, long lasting product that provides a very true sound from their instruments.
Wow. Well, congratulations on 34 years of the pickup being around and taking over from your father. And if people want to learn more or see it in action, I'm assuming they can go to your website. Let people know where they can find out more information about the pickups.
Yeah, we try to get help from local violin makers, and on our website I have a list with resellers. I still build up this reseller map. It takes a lot of time, of course, but to get in contact with ambassadors in all over the world who will represent the product locally. It's very good because we offer the violin maker a free pickup to be installed in their workshop, so they can make a demonstration. The bass player, the musicians can try an instrument locally. But of course, this is a big job to get out and find the resellers around who want to store the pickups.
So if someone doesn't have a reseller in their area, can they visit the website and order a pickup for themselves and then have someone install it for them?
Yeah, sure. If you want to buy a pickup in San Francisco, we normally send the pickup the same day or the next. You will normally have it 5 or 6 days later. We guarantee that it works for 5 years, and we also guarantee that you like the sound. If the sound doesn't meet your expectations, we will take the pickup back and give the full money back to you. So we are more interested in helping musicians to get the right sound instead of just selling them something that they don't like. And normally we are happy that most bass players and musicians in general, they like the sound when they hear it first time. And many of the musicians we get in contact with, they blame us for why didn't they know about us before. so that's how we feel they are happy about the product. We have had so many great professional musicians using our pickups, and in all respect for them, I'm sure they have tried everything on the market, and of course when they give us the feedback and testimonials about how they feel about the pickup sound, we just feel happy about it to help them.
Yeah, and you have a wide range of bass players. I've seen on your website that use the pickup, and like you said, they've been in use since the 80s. So do you remember off the top of your head some artists that are using Wilson pickups right now, double bassists that are using?
Right now, yes. We of course we have a lot of bass players for the moment in the United States. I think many of the bass players I have on this list is maybe not alive anymore, and maybe they don't use the pickup anymore. But back in time, we had George Mraz, Steve Vallas, John Patitucci, Gary Peacock, Mark Johnson, and Eddie Gomez, and of course those were some of the pioneers on this product. Since then, we have had, of course, a lot of very good bass players. Many of them are playing in studios, studio musicians. They play in different bands, and they are probably very, very good musicians. So to me, it's just a big honor to help them with sound, because I'm only taking over from my father, who have been in contact with all these great musicians, and it was his idols back in time. And for me, it's just an honor to keep running this to help the world of music to still have good sound. And of course, I think the American market is so big, and I would love to get more. People should have more knowledge about our products in United States.
Well, that list of bass players, of course, Gary Peacock, Eddie Gomez, John Patitucci, everybody's familiar with those names. I've played on basses with Wilson pickups in the past. A colleague of mine from Chicago, Scott Rosenthal, did a lot of the theater work in town, and he swore by Wilson pickups. So it's a great product, and it's fun to chat with you, Ole, and let people know your website and where they can learn more if they want to try out a pickup.
Yeah, the address for the website is wilsonpickups.com. And if you want to know more about it, the products, you are always welcome to call or write to me, so I can help you to see if we can provide a good sound for the bass player or the musician.
Well, thanks again for chatting, Ole. And folks, that link to learn more about Wilson Pickups, it's wilson-pickups.com. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I totally appreciate having you on board with this show, and we cover all sorts of different topics, whether it be gear or auditions or mindset and just general improvement as a bass player and a musician, the sort of stuff that I'm interested in. I know that at least a chunk of bass players out there are also interested in. So we're all on this journey together, and I would love to know if you've got any directions you'd like to see the show go. And I'm talking guests, I'm talking topics, anything. I'm open to anything. Panel discussions. I always say panel discussions. What do I mean by that? I'm not sure. But I would love to hear from you. Feedback@contrabassconversations.com will put you in touch with me, and I respond to each and every email. And if you're not subscribed to the podcast, head over to contrabassconversations.com/subscribe, and you can get it through Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. You can get on our email list, and we'll send you a notification when these episodes go live. And we have an app. You can get our Contrabass Conversations app for iOS, Android, Kindle, and I think even Windows Phone. I think. I'll have to check. Anyway, I am babbling. Thank you so much for listening. And Contrabass Conversations is produced by Michael Cooper, Steve Hinchy, Mitch Mooring, and Trevor Jones. And if you're looking for a double bass, Mitch Mooring is making beautiful instruments in the Dallas area. Learn more at mitchmooring.com. I'm your host, Jason Heath, coming to you live from, or not live, but you know what I mean, coming to you from San Francisco, California. And we will see you again soon for more life on the low end of the spectrum.